Good Thursday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, we made it over the hump and we're in the home stretch toward the weekend because you have news headlines coming up on this Thursday. Have a message from my book, Word That Choose to Live By, and in today's news you can use. You're part of my conversation with Roshan Jhunja, the head of retail at Square. We talk about consumer holiday shopping trends and what you should expect. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Thursday headlines. In international news, mediators try to extend Gaza truce, which could expire within a day. With hours left to go before a truce in Gaza expires, international mediators work to extend it to facilitate the release of militant-held hostages and Palestinians imprisoned by Israel. The ceasefire has paused the deadliest fighting between Israel and Palestinians in decades. Israel has agreed to a truce, which is originally set to expire on Monday, by 1 day for every 10 hostages freed, and Hamas is expected to release another group of hostages later. 12 hostages, including 10 Israelis, were released on Tuesday, bringing the total number of people freed during the truce to 81. Israel has vowed to resume the war in an effort to end Hamas' 16-year rule of Gaza, but it's faced mounting international pressure to extend the truce and spare southern Gaza a devastating ground offensive like the one that has demolished much of the north. Hamas' ability to negotiate and implement the ceasefire suggests that Israel's air and ground campaigns have not seriously challenged the group's control of Gaza, despite killing thousands of Palestinians and driving 3 out of 4 people in the territory from their homes. Roughly 240 hostages were captured by Hamas in its October 7th attack in southern Israel that ignited the war. More than 13,300 Palestinians have been killed since the war began, according to the Hamas-controlled health ministry in Gaza. About 1,200 people have been killed in Israel, mostly during the initial incursion by Hamas. 2 Palestinian boys, including an 8-year-old, were killed by Israeli fire Wednesday during a military raid in the West Bank town, Palestinian health officials said. 2 militants were also killed, the army said. The circumstances of the shooting of the boys were unclear. Security camera footage showed what appeared to be children gathered on a street. The children run away while one boy remains standing until he falls to the ground, and another appears to disappear next to a car. Health officials identified the boys as an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old. The video could not be independently verified. In a statement, the army said troops opened fire at suspects in the area who hurled explosives at them. Hits were identified, it said. The children in the video are not seen throwing objects, and the army did not say whether the young boys were suspected of throwing explosives. In national news, Rosalind Carter is eulogized before family and friends as husband Jimmy bears silent witness. Her frail husband, a silent witness, Rosalind Carter, was celebrated by her family and closest friends on Wednesday in the same tiny town where she and Jimmy Carter were born, forever their home base as they climbed to the White House and traveled the world for humanitarian causes. The former First Lady, who died November 19th at the age of 96, had an intimate funeral at a church in Plains where she and her husband spent decades welcoming guests. Earlier tributes were held in and around the city and in Atlanta. The former president, now 99 and in hospice care, sat in a wheelchair in the front row wearing a dark suit and tie to say goodbye to his wife of 77 years. The pastor said Rosalind Carter served every nation around the world because she embraced the teachings of Jesus Christ and took it outside the walls of the church. She would say to you today, don't grieve for me, for now I'm free, the pastor said, continuing in Rosalind's voice as he describes her competitive nature and her belief in salvation. The Carter family later accompanied her casket to the burial plot she'll one day share with her husband, who also attended a Tuesday memorial where 2 other presidents and all the living first ladies joined the extended Carter family before Wednesday's hometown funeral. In more national news, man charged with shooting 3 Palestinian college students accused of harassing ex-girlfriend in 2019. The man charged with shooting 3 college students of Palestinian descent in Vermont last weekend was accused several years ago of harassing an ex-girlfriend in New York State, but no charges were ever filed, according to a police report. The individual, who is 48, is currently being held without bail after his arrest Sunday in the city of Burlington on 3 counts of attempted murder. In entertainment news, Taylor Swift is Spotify's most streamed artist of 2023, ending Bad Bunny's 3-year reign. It's her, Hi. Taylor Swift is Spotify's 2023 most played artist, as the Associated Press. According to Spotify Rap, Swift was 2023's most streamed artist globally, racking in more than 26 billion streams since January 1st. And finally, in business news, Wall Street gains ground after encouraging updates from GM and other companies. Stocks were rising on Wall Street in afternoon trading on Wednesday, following some encouraging updates from U.S. companies, including General Motors. The S&P 500 rose 0.1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 78 points, or 0.2%. The Nasdaq Composite edged up less than 0.1%. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Thursday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Showing gratitude does not mean that the day will be perfect, but it does mean approaching it with the right mindset. So let's get to it. Have an amazing Thursday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Roshan Jhunja, the head of retail at Square, in today's News You Can Use. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your News You Can Use. Roshan Jhunja, the head of retail at Square, joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the consumer holiday shopping trends he's seeing and also what you all can expect. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Roshan, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Cyrus. Glad to be here.
Yeah, this is some exciting news, I think, for retailers as well as, of course, I think, for our general audience here, Roshan. So what consumer trends are you seeing coming out of the recent Black Friday and Cyber Monday shopping experience?
Yeah, so just like you said, Cyrus, I think it's good news for retailers. But some of the interesting things is it's even beyond retail. So for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, here's about 4 high-level stats that I would highlight. So 70 million transactions, and in some ways that's driving records across Square and Afterpay. But that includes 15% increase in restaurants and more beauty sellers leading into the shopping weekend. And so really strong showing for retail, but also for those experiences. Next thing I'd say is in-person shopping grew. Always something that folks are paying attention to, given the pandemic and the online shopping push there. But we saw in-person shopping increased by 15% this past weekend. But online cart sizes we saw were 3.9 times higher than in person. So that reinforces the power of online and the need to sell across channels. And we also saw that buy now, pay later usage was up. So Afterpay transactions increasing 19% as consumers are looking for more choice and more flexibility at checkout time.
That is all good news. And, I think since the pandemic in particular, Roshan, I think we definitely have seen the impact and the power of online shopping and having that capability to do that. And I think what you were saying really bears out that is still something that's very strong here. So with that being said, with these, big experiences for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I guess the question for businesses is, can they expect the rest of the holiday season to be like this? And if so, how can they prepare for it?
Yeah, so great question, Cyrus. Something that I can inform a little bit with last year's data. We saw there that Black Friday, Cyber Monday was really just the beginning.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. Better get on tomorrow to wrap up this week. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.